Welcome each one of you to my YouTube channel Truly AI, the channel which makes artificial intelligence simple, easy to understand, real and relatable. I am Dr. Siby Abraham. By now you know my role. I am the chef in the kitchen, but there is a twist. I am not the learning chef you have encountered earlier. I am the inventive chef, the one who creates, designs and develops new dishes. There is a big difference between conventional learning AI and the generative AI which creates. Just like a chef who learns from the recipe from other chefs by experimenting oneself and inventing new, creating one, to the one who could be able to entirely create a new dish. The conventional learning AI could be able to classify spam emails from the actual one. The conventional AI could be able to recommend the movies, the products for you, but generative AI could be able to create entirely new stuff for you. It may be a story for you, it may be an audio, video, image for you, and it could be able to have an entirely new protein folding which could be able to be making an impact in the case of science. This is the world of generative AI. More imaginative, more creative and much more impactful. Similar to an inventive chef requires huge amount of ingredients in the pantry, generative AI requires huge amount of data. The data can be text data, image data, audio data, video, computer codes, etc. When so much of information data is available, what generative AI does when we probe or prompt? Does it search and find something for us? Or it just memorizes and delivers at the prompt? No. In fact, when huge amounts of data is provided to the generative AI, it understands the pattern, the relationship between the content in the data. For example, in the case of text, it understands that happiness and joyful go together. It could be able to understand the relationship between them. In the case of image, face recognition, it could be able to understand from huge amount of facial data that something similar to two dots and one curve, mostly nothing but a face, and corresponding it could be able to recognize the respective pattern and provide. Similar is the case of music, very slow music, mostly corresponding to something which is very light and soothing, and this type of patterns could be able to be generated by the AI. Whenever a prompt given, it could be able to understand the prompt features and correspondingly it could be able to recompose something exclusively to you. Therefore, it is not just memorizing and delivering to you or copy and pasting to you, but it recombines, recomposes and entirely new creation is given to you. Just like a small kid in your family watches your behavior, your attitude, your way of dealing with things and tries to mimic it and expresses in his own or her own way. Here we try to demonstrate how generative AI actually works with a simple prompt. Can you give a 3-4 lines simple story about a sandwich dreaming to become a pizza? This is a story. Once A little sandwich in a cafe dreamed of being more than bread and filling. It imagined gooey cheese, sizzling toppings, and the aroma of a wood-fired oven. One day, the chef tried a wild idea, baked the sandwich with pizza toppings, and the dream came true. You must have noticed the words were not just put it on the screen, it is coming one at a time. First word was once, then a little sandwich, etc. Therefore, in the case of generative AI, the words, in this case LLM, the words are coming one at a time, and that is based on a technique called auto-regression. Based on the prompt, it identifies which is the most suitable word, and based on the previous words, it could be able to calculate the probability of the next possible word, and correspondingly it could be able to give. Just like a chef, corresponding to making every small improvement, tasting it and improvising in a continuous way, and that is what exactly generative AI does. Most of the large language models follow the concept of transformer idea, wherein which the special attention is given to the focused areas. Just like a chef tastes a sandwich and sees that okay, little more salt is to be added, little more cheese is to be added, etc. Similarly, it could be able to understand what is the special attention to be given based on the prompt, and correspondingly it could be able to provide it. Having discussed how generative AI generates content, let us see what are the different modes of generating content. There are three major ways we could be able to create or generate content. The techniques are generative adversarial network, variation autoencoder, and thirdly, the diffusion models. Let us explore in detail generative adversarial network. Instead of only one chef, assume that there are two chefs here. The chef number one, we call it as a generator, and chef number two, we call it as the discriminator. The generator chef only generates new dishes, and it is given to the discriminator. The discriminator chef only tastes the food and always finds something wrong, something not fitting, some adverse comments are made. And this feedback is given to the generator. Whatever the comments received from the discriminator, generator incorporates in that and again giving to the discriminator. And this iterative process is going on. Assume that the generator starts from random without knowing anything, and because of the very good comments provided by the discriminator, generator could be able to come to a good dish gradually. This iterative process of generating something and giving to the discriminator tries to give adverse comments to make it better, and correspondingly it goes on and iteratively, and one stage will be able to come whatever the dish created by the generator, and discriminator finds no fault in that. That means generator is so efficient in creating a new dish from scratch without knowing anything about that. And this is what exactly generative adversarial network. What we see in the deep fakes and the videos and the images of the celebrities created and shown as a real one, which are actually fake one, are majorly created using this type of generative adversarial networks. Having discussed how generative AI creates content, let us see how it could be able to create each time separate or different. Let us have the previous prompt. We are getting the response, it is different from the previous one. Suppose we edit this and redo the again, and you could be able to get a different story, and we do 1,000 times, each time we will be able to get a different story. That is the beauty of generative AI. Suppose instead of this, we ask some other question. What is the capital of India? And it gives the answer. What is the capital of India? The capital of India is New Delhi. Let us edit this and again prompt. We are getting New Delhi again. We do it again, and yes, we are getting it again. Therefore, if you do 100 times, 1,000 times, most probably we will be able to get the same answer. Therefore, two types of responses we have seen. One is creative, very different, corresponding to each of the running of the prompt. Second one, factual, accurate, same information each time. How it is possible? Because generative AI uses a concept called temperature. As the temperature changes corresponding to the climate and corresponding to the prompt we are asking, internally the large language models could be able to capture the value for the respective temperature. Usually temperature value lies in between 0 and 1. Value equal to 1 means more creative, more varied, and each time we will be able to get a distinct response. Temperature value close to 0 means we will be able to get much more accurate factual value, and we will be able to get the almost same value each time. Therefore, it is actually possible corresponding to the prompt given by us, and the respective large language model capture that from our prompt. When you prompt next time, see what is the response and judge what can be the temperature value used by the LLM. It's a good question. Just look at the writers. They read a lot, and based on the reading they have done over the years, they may be inspired by that, and that ideas might get reflected in their writing. A painter who is exposed to different types of painting may be inspired by that, and still he could be able to create an entirely new creation. A film director who is exposed to different types of movies, watch different types of movies, might be inspired by different styles, and by mixing it and using his own judgment, he could be able to create an entirely new creation. Similar is the case with AI. AI, which is exposed to huge amount of data, could be able to be inspired by the experiences it has gathered, and based on that it could be able to use that and could be able to create something new, fresh looking one. Effectively, it may be a recombination of it. But the basic difference between the content created by AI and human being is that in the case of human being, it is the intent or objective that makes it. But in the case of AI, AI doesn't have its own intent, and intent or objective is provided by the person who gives the prompt, that is the user who uses it. This is a very interesting question. Just because we can make need not we should make it. We have to look at the surrounding, for what purpose it is used, and whether somebody else could be able to misuse this, because creation, as we see in the world, is a very, very responsible act. Just like Spider-Man said, with great power comes great responsibility. Therefore, this is a very important point we have to remember. Just because AI could be able to create something doesn't mean that it has to create it. We human beings have to decide what exactly, for what purpose it should be used. We have seen the power of AI how AI generates content and what it can do. Also, we have seen what is the role of human being in this whole episode. AI is here not to replace us, but as we have seen, it is to amplify us. We are looking forward to an environment where human beings could be able to provide the intent, the objective, the ethics, and the purpose, and AI could be able to provide the speed, the scale, and the diversity. We are looking forward to an environment where AI and human being could be able to co-create. Therefore, we are not looking for artificial intelligence, but we are looking for augmented intelligence with augmented imagination and augmented creativity. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this, kindly like, share, and subscribe. Please wait for the next video. Till then, truly AI.